There's a lot of noise right now in a Johnson City neighborhood. It's plagued with thousands of birds. For several winters now, thousands of European starlings have invaded trees in the Gump neighborhood of Johnson City.
So this week, Johnson City is set to launch what they're calling harassment efforts, including shooting off those bird bombs to let the birds know they are not welcome. Allie Hines is in the Gump tonight with a live report. Have they started shooting off the bombs yet?
Hey guys, yes, I'm here in Johnson City. You might see me jump here in a minute because these Johnson City police officers behind me are shooting off something similar to fireworks and also some what look like handheld pistols that they're calling launchers, all trying to scare these birds off. And I just saw a huge group of starlings flying this way, and when they shot one off, they took off the other way. Now, the problem is whether or not they'll come back. And these birds, thousands of these birds, every winter for the past several years have roosted in these magnolia trees around this area. You can kind of hear the shots going off behind me. And that's what these people are trying to stop, and that's the point of this week, is to stop these birds from coming back.
It hadn't always been a problem.
For decades, Joy McGinnis has called this peaceful neighborhood home. But then a few years ago, she noticed something odd.
I thought these birds were nuts, because they were making these big sweeping formations.
Thousands of visitors.
It's not a pretty sight.
That have well overstayed their welcome.
Just a bunch of, bird droppings everywhere. It can be a health problem too. Having to have to clean up all that stuff and be exposed to probably a lot of bacteria.
Since then, neighbors have taken it upon themselves to kick the birds out. They bought cannons, air horns, banged pots and pans, but it hasn't worked. Last year, Johnson City paid the U.S. Department of Agriculture roughly $6,000 to spearhead a bird harassment blitz designed to disrupt the roosting starlings and stop the problem.
We were successful in dispersing the birds. However, they did return.
But that isn't stopping them from trying again. This year, the USDA is training Johnson City workers for free to help them harass the birds on their own.
Pest control pyrotechnics that are fired from launchers that go up into the air and make screaming noises and blow up like firecrackers. These are pretty effective at dispersing birds.
But he says there are no promises.
Folks just need to know that as long as the habitat is there, as long as the trees are there, the dense vegetation that the birds like to roost in, that this is likely to be a chronic problem.
But neighbors like McGinnis say they're hopeful.
I think it'll help, hopefully.
Keith Blanton with USDA says even if they're successful in getting rid of the birds this year, there's a pretty good chance they'll be back next year. Just a few days after last year's blitz, USDA officials counted about 3,000 European starlings back in these trees. Reporting live in Johnson City, Allie Hines, News Channel 11 in your corner.
Here's hoping round two is more effective.
Yes.
For sure.